5 important storytelling elements. Exposition is the first one, which is the backstory. Rising action is all the conflict. Climax is them overcoming those conflicts. Falling action is the hero at the happiest, and resolution is the end and final goodbyes of the character. So the first key element in what is a story plot arc is, what is exposition? Exposition is the backstory before the inciting incident happens, before we get kicked off into the conflict. An example of exposition in Iron Man is Obadiah hiring the 10 rings to kill Tony Stark, which we don't know yet, but it happens beforehand. It's the backstory before Tony Stark is attacked, starting the inciting incident. What is inciting incident? This also pairs with the story plot arc. Inciting incident is the moment the protagonist sets the story in motion. An example in Iron Man is when Tony Stark is captured by the 10 rings and discovers they've been using his Stark Industry weapons, which sets him on his journey. The second key element of a story plot arc is, what is rising action? Rising action is all the conflict in the way of the character's goals, right? What they're trying to achieve. An example of this is in Iron Man preventing that shrapnel from entering his heart twice when Obadiah Stane steals that arc reactor from him. The third key element to a story plot arc is, what is climax? In a movie, the climax is usually the heightened moment of the entire series, where all the action is and where all the sacrifices are made. So climax is the character overcoming those rising conflicts. An example of climax in Iron Man is when Tony Stark has to stop Obadiah in the Ironmonger suit, risking his own life when Pepper Potts destroys that giant arc reactor.
This is Creative Writing Lessons. This is where I give you tips and tricks to writing a successful story, especially for beginners. If you're loving this content, don't forget to like and subscribe this video so I can keep pumping out these amazing videos. Alright, let's continue the video.
The fourth key element to a story plot arc is, what is falling action? Falling action is when the characters are at their happiest, right? Because they just overcame all these conflicts to achieve their goal. So an example of this in Iron Man is when Tony Stark is laughing with Pepper Potts about his Iron Man suit because it's not really made of iron, so they're laughing. For the fifth key element to what is a story plot arc, we have, what is resolution? Resolutions are the final goodbyes of the characters, and this is where you leave the cliffhangers. An example of resolution cliffhanger in Iron Man is when Tony Stark at the end talks to the press and he tells them that I am Iron Man.